Today is Sunday, June 21st. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today out of the Big Book, we are on Chapter 11, A Vision for You. We are on page 155. Out of the 12 and 12, we are on Tradition 10. I believe we're getting close to finishing that today. We're on 178. And of course, read the 24 hours a day and daily reflection. So with that, I hope y'all are doing well this morning, my friends. Life is good over here. It is a beautiful Sunday morning here in the rolling hills of Tennessee. My wife and I, we went out for a little walk this morning and just enjoying the blue skies, the blooms of the dogwoods, and I don't know what kind of trees I've got beside our house, but I planted them not too long ago. I think they're azaleas or something, but they have these beautiful purple flowers that come out right around this time of the year. And you know, it got me thinking, the old buds that dry out, when we prune those, that gives other nutrients that were going to those old buds to the new buds, right? And how quickly they sprout open. And it's kind of like us, you know, sometimes when we're doing our inventory, we got to get rid of the old stuff, the stuff that's kind of getting in the way of growth. And when we finally give that over to our higher power and do our due diligence, you know, new growth can begin. And it's pretty darn beautiful, right? And also, I want to say a quick congratulations to my friend Patrick. He has been a longtime listener of the podcast. And he said, "Hey, Rob, I wanted to drop you a line. Today, I've been sober for 2 years, and I've been listening to your podcast nearly every day for the entirety of those 2 years." Dude, congratulations. What a miracle. And what a beautiful reminder that this program and Miracle Sobriety it's powerful and it's still working. And Patrick, I think the world of you, man. Really appreciate the kind words and just appreciate the confirmation that this program is truly special. But dude, congratulations. Let's go celebrate without drinking today. So with that, guys, let's go ahead and get to the good stuff. All right, my friends, so if you recall from yesterday's reading out of the Big Book, Bill, our friend here, has randomly, and I put those in air quotes you can't see, chosen from a directory and lifted the receiver and called somebody. And he talks to a clergyman who is eventually going to point him out to some very important people in the birth of Alcoholics Anonymous. So, we're on page 155. His calls of the clergyman led him presently to a certain resident of the town, who, though formerly able and respected, was then nearing the nadir of alcoholic despair. It was the usual situation. Home in jeopardy, wife ill, children distracted, bills in arrears, and standing damaged. He had a desperate desire to stop, but saw no way out, for he had earnestly tried many avenues of escape. Painfully aware of being somehow abnormal, the man did not fully realize what it meant to be alcoholic. When our friend related his experience, the man agreed that no amount of willpower he might muster could stop his drinking for long. A spiritual experience, he conceded, was absolutely necessary. But the price seemed too high upon the basis suggested. He told how he lived in constant worry about those who might find out about his alcoholism. He had, of course, the familiar alcoholic obsession that few knew of his drinking. Why, he argued, should he lose the remainder of his business, only to bring still more suffering to his family by foolishly admitting his plight to people from whom he'd made his livelihood? He would do anything, he said, but that. Being intrigued, however, he invited our friend to his home. Some time later, and just as he thought he was getting control of his liquor situation, he went on a roaring bender. For him, this was the spree that ended all sprees. He saw that he would have to face his problems squarely, that God might give him mastery. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on Tradition 10. Alcoholics Anonymous has no opinion on outside issues. Hence, the AA name ought never be drawn in a public controversy. Page 178. The Washingtonian Society, a movement among alcoholics which started in Baltimore a century ago, almost discovered the answer to alcoholism. At first, the society was composed entirely of alcoholics trying to help one another. The early members foresaw that they should dedicate themselves to the sole aim. In many respects, the Washingtonians were akin to AA of today. Their membership passed the 100,000 mark. Had they been left to themselves, and had they stuck to their one goal, they might have found the rest of the answer. But this didn't happen. Instead, the Washingtonians permitted politicians and reformers, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic, to use the society for their own purposes. Abolition of slavery, for example, was a stormy political issue then. Soon, Washingtonian speakers violently and publicly took sides on the question. Maybe the society could have survived the abolition controversy, but it didn't have a chance from the moment it determined to reform America's drinking habits. When the Washingtonians became temperance crusaders, within a very few years, they had completely lost their effectiveness in helping alcoholics. The lesson to be learned from the Washingtonians was not overlooked by Alcoholics Anonymous. As we surveyed the wreck of that moment, early AA members resolved to keep our society out of public controversy. Thus was laid the cornerstone for Tradition 10. Alcoholics Anonymous has no opinion on outside issues. Hence the AA name ought never be drawn into public controversy. "24 hours a day, June 21st. AA Thought for the Day. Intelligent faith in a power greater than ourselves can be counted on to stabilize our emotions. It has an incomparable capacity to help us look at life in balanced perspective. We look up, around, and away from ourselves, and we see that 9 out of 10 things that at that moment upset us will shortly disappear. Problems solve themselves. Criticism and unkindness vanish as though they had never been. Have I got the proper perspective toward life?" Meditation for the day. A truly spiritual man or woman would like to have a serene mind. The only way to keep calm in this troubled world is to have a serene mind. The calm and sane mind sees spiritual things as the true realities, and the material things as only temporary and fleeting. That sort of mind that you can never obtain by reasoning, because your reasoning powers are limited by space and time. That kind of a mind you can never obtain by reading, because other minds are also limited in the same way. You can only have that mind by an act of faith, by making the venture of belief. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may have a calm and sane mind. I pray that I may look up, around, and away from myself. Daily Reflection, June 21st. Fear and Faith. The achievement of freedom from fear is a lifetime undertaking, one that can never be wholly completed. When we are under heavy attack, acute illness, or in other conditions of serious insecurity, we shall all react to this emotion, well or badly as the case may be. Only the self-deceived will claim perfect freedom from fear. As Bill sees it, page 263. Fear has caused suffering when I could have had more faith. There are times when fear suddenly tears me apart, just when I'm experiencing feelings of joy, happiness, and a lightness of heart. Faith and a feeling of self-worth toward a higher power helps me endure tragedy and ecstasy. When I choose to give all of my fears over to my higher power, I will be free. All right, my friends, that concludes today's reading, and man, some great stuff. Those last 2 readings really hit hard for me today. talking about the last one real quick, fear. One thing that I definitely noticed doing my inventory and everything through the steps, and one thing that I definitely noticed I can still do when I start getting down to the root causes of why I do some things, is I can still live in fear. When I get down to the root causes of why I snap at people or why I feel jealous or whatever it might be, it's usually rooted in insecurity, which is, for me, it's a type of fear. Fear that I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not manly enough, or whatever the expectation might be. But it's all rooted in fear. But as a dear friend always tells me, that's false evidence appearing real. That's the acronym. These are the lies I tell myself, that I'm not good enough. Because the truth is I am loved. And I'm capable of being loved. And capable of loving others. That I am no better or worse than anybody else. I'm just a human being. When I think of it that way, what am I to be fearful of? I always love what the big book says. We relax and take it easy. We do not struggle when faced with indecision, right? It's page 80 something. It's in there. I love that. And I think somewhere else in the big book, and also it's in the big book as well, it tells us not to worry. It tells me not to worry, that my higher powers got me, And a perfect example. Okay, so a couple weeks ago, my family and I, we went to Anakista, and they have the gondolas, right? The machines that take you up and down the mountains and stuff. I know Disney World's got it too. And my son, back in 2022, we went to Disney World, and at first he was a little nervous when he went on one of those, and he doesn't like heights, and he eventually got on it and he was fine. He loved it. Well, fast forward to the year 2026, he sees these gondolas going up this mountain in Anakista and Pigeon Forge, and freaked him out. He's watching this go on and he's crying. He's psyching himself out. So finally I told him, I said, buddy, I would never put you in a situation that'd be dangerous. You're safe. This is all in your head. Let's choose faith over fear, okay? We'll do this together. And sure enough, so we get on the thing, and of course, it's one of the ones that has the glass bottom, so you can see the see the bottom, right? So I just sat next to him, I held his hand, and we went up the mountain together, and he kept saying, oh, this isn't so bad. This isn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. And then by the end, it was so funny. When he finally left, when we went back down the mountain after our time at Anakista, he decided he wanted to do his own YouTube video. Just talking about his experience in Anakista and all the things that he enjoyed. And he's filming the backdrop, nature all around as we're going down the thing. Just laughing and everything. And it's funny because we don't have YouTube or anything like that. He just does it for fun on the phone. But the point I'm trying to make is, when I choose faith over fear, things usually work out a lot better. I was so fearful when I did my inventory and my step 5 and my amends. But when I just stepped on a limb, stepped out on faith and just did it, on the other side of it, I realized, man, I blew that up in my head so much, and it was really not that big of a deal. So you do it, right? You make these amends, and you go the process of the 12 steps, and you're on the other side of it. That gives you confidence next time that when I screw up again, not an if, but when I screw up again, Rob, I'm not as fearful about making those amends or making that inventory or talking to a dear friend about these defects that I have. I'm not as fearful anymore because I've been there, I've done that, and I've seen the benefits, the fruit of doing these steps. It's beautiful stuff. And real quick about the 24 hours a day, I'm always reminded of my dear friend. I'll say his first name. His name is Kurt. And he always tells me to look around, to look up, look down, look all around yourself. And if you do this and really focus on the things you're looking at, oftentimes you'll find something you can be grateful for. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay. Okay, I found one. That didn't take long. So we were at Cracker Barrel not too long ago, and we gave our kids a spending limit of $10. You know, I know we're big spenders, right? Where they can get some candy or a toy or something like that. Well, you know what my daughter did? She got me a Father's Day card. And it's this dog, the Great Dane, sitting on a couch with nachos in his lap. And it says, let me look at it. Chip happens. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is a birthday card. Happy birthday, because my birthday's coming up on June 25th. But, you know, she chose with her money to give back to me. What a blessing. And actually, peek behind the curtain, she came in here twice during the recording of this, saying she wants to give the money that she's got saved to some people that might need it. I'm not making this up. It brings a tear to my eye. Like, what a beautiful heart she's got. And that's no credit of my own. That's all her. And it's just beautiful. But guys, I rambled on enough. I hope you all have a great one today. And for giving another set of 24 hours, I sincerely look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.